As you can see, thousands of people are already waiting at the door for those doors to actually open and then for to be unleashed upon Spiel. So I think I better get out of the way before they actually run me over. Welcome to GMS Magazine at Spiel 2015. Usually NSKN produces amazing, well, don't say usually, that's not true. NSKN produces some amazing games. And this time at Spiel 2015, they've done it again. They have released Simurgh, which looks absolutely gorgeous. It weighs a ton and a half. That is the hell of a game. And I have here Roger, who's going to explain to us exactly what Simurgh is all about and how it plays. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm really well. How are you?
I am all the better for being here. Okay, well, just tell me a little bit about Simurgh. What is the game all about?
Well, the game is about breeding dragons, which is a very cool theme, and we have some very cool mechanisms to go with it. The game is, well, you can hear a lot about a worker placement with a twist. Well, it is a worker placement with more than one twist, because what you have in the game is you have a constantly changing board. So basically new spaces for your workers come in and come out, and you have the influence on when and what new action spaces come in. You have two types of workers, spearmen and dragon riders. The dragon riders are obviously better and can do everything the spearmen can do. And we also have asymmetric player powers in the sense that you get to have your own dragons, and each dragon comes with its own set of special abilities. You start with one, you gain more during the game. Also, Simurgh is something we really wanted as a game you could play in different settings. So the game comes with two, let's say, difficulty levels. You can go with a Spearman mode and a Dragon Lord mode. The Dragon Lord mode is the one where you draft tiles, and when efficiency is even more important than in the Spearman mode. And we have three lengths of the game, so you can play anything from a 45-minute family game using Simurgh up to a 120-minute heavy brain burner to play with, you know, heavy gamers.
What are the basics of the game? Because there is a fair amount of components in here, there are a lot of tiles. How does it play?
Well, we wanted the game to play very fluently and in a way very fast, which is why the game is divided into very small chunks. Every player turn is very simple. You either take one of your workers and place it on a board, or maybe let's say on an action space, or what you do is you gather any number of your workers from the action spaces and take them back to you. So this is always very simple. You do one action very quickly, maybe you use some of the special abilities of your dragons, and then play passes to the next player. Now, to go a little more into detail, like I said, you have two types of workers. So we have the dragon riders here, and we have the spearmen here. And this is, by the way, acrylic plastic known as plexiglass laser cut high precision. This is something we really wanted to look good. Now, we have two types of spaces. These with the Dragon Lord, with the Dragon Rider emblem. Only Dragon Riders can go there. And those empty, the Spearmen and the Dragon Riders can go into those spaces. Now, what you can also do during your turn, and this is very important, you can take one of the tiles you have in your hand and put it on the board here. This is what is called the wilds. And when you place a tile here, you also place either your Dragon Rider or your Spearman, depending on the type of spaces. And these tiles, like I said, you have them in your hand, you play them to the board. With this, you create new action spaces. But unlike games like Caelus or Lords of Waterdeep, where you build buildings and they stay there for the rest of the game, these tiles leave the game either when they are full or when they are empty. And actually, one of the ways to time the game, to bring the game to an end, is to move a specific number of those tiles from the board here to what is called the Chronicle. So every tile that leaves the game goes to the Chronicle. When a certain number is reached, the end game starts, a very short end game after which we score points. Another important feature of the game is this little stack here, the objective tiles. The objective tiles will tell you what you will score points. And most often, you score points for dragons, for ability tokens on dragons, which leads me to another very, very important point. The dragons. We have prepared a very hefty, nice set of beautifully illustrated dragon tiles, and every dragon tile comes with 3 abilities. Now, each of those abilities, to work, needs a token on it. So they are kind of one-time abilities, but you can replenish the tokens, and those abilities allow you to do different things. Sometimes they are very simple. You can simply get something. You can get some of the resources of the game. Sometimes they allow you to make an action you do even better. Sometimes they combine with different actions in very specific ways. And the more dragons you have, the bigger chance you will have at scoring points at the end of the game for those dragons, but you will also have more options during the game. So I think this basically mostly covers the basics of the game. The game is very fluent, it's very changing, and also what is very important, I think I'd like to also point to this. This is the stack of tiles that comes with the game. It's not the whole stack of tiles. You always remove some of the tiles from the game, and you play with this stack of tiles. So every game you have very, very different tiles. You have very, very different options. And the last thing, when you play a tile, just remember that you are creating opportunities not only for yourself, but also for other players. So there is a lot of interaction on this level as well, and a lot of variability through this humongous stack.
When you say there is a lot of interaction between the players, is that to basically mess up with the other players' strategies, or simply to add a random element to the table so people have to react to that?
Well, we didn't want the game to be very mean, so there is no way to take away stuff that belongs to other players. However, a smart player will use an action tile in a very specific way. If I have a very powerful action tile with very good actions, I will try to play it in such a way, or at a specific time, so that I can deny the use of it to other players. I will not be taking anything away, but playing smart means playing in such a way that you will be the person who uses the opportunities, or the opportunities you create for other players will still leave you ahead. So you always have to take into account what resources other players have, which of their workers, which of their vassals are available at a given time when you play, but you never take away other people's stuff. We don't like taking away other people's stuff.
Okay, that's fair enough indeed. Now, in terms of level of experience, how many games do you think people need to play to get to grips with how to develop your strategies and understand the rules properly?
Well, if you're playing the Spearman mode, really the first game will be a complete game, a complete experience for you. After a few games in the Spearman mode, actually that really varies a lot. If you're an experienced player, I'd say play one game in the Spearman mode and then go to the Dragon Lord mode, where there is a draft of tiles in the beginning. So you can plan out your whole strategy, drafting specific tiles. At the start of the game, you also get what is called a power tile. It's one tile, you get only one of them during the game, and they allow you to score a lot of points. So when you get this experience, when you play once, maybe twice, you are able to create your strategy around your power tile. So again, that you can maximize its use, denying its use to other players.
And in terms of the family value of the game, how well does it play when you have younger players against older players? How does it balance out?
I think it's a game that can be played by younger players as well, especially that the game in itself, the mechanisms are quite simple to understand. And if you're playing the Spearman mode, there is a certain level of randomness because you simply are dealt some tiles. So sometimes you will do better, sometimes you will get tiles that can work together very well on their own, sometimes a little less, and you'll have to work it out a little bit. Still, with this kind of level of starting randomness, I think every player has a chance to kind of score big without actually having to plan a strategy from step one.
Well, that sounds like a winner to me. That sounds pretty good. The game, I know it's been released as Spiel. When is it going to be on distribution?
Well, we're gonna actually have more news on that soon, but we're hoping it will be in distribution in some not very long time. I really can't answer this question now because the game is completely new. We actually finished assembling the game. The game was finished on Friday, and we brought what we had here. So we will want this in general distribution. I can't tell you the exact time when it is in stores.
So now you know, viewers, keep an eye on this one. You know, put your ear to the computer to make sure that you hear when this thing is going to the shops, because I think NSKN is doing it again. I think they're on to another winner, which is quite amazing. Thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thank you.